In this video, I'm going to be breaking down a beautiful short on AUD USD from Friday. It was awesome, and I can't wait to break it down for you all. You're going to want to stay to the end of this video. There's a lot of free knowledge in here that is going to help you out a lot. And without further ado, I'll meet you on the charts. Let's go. All right, guys. So thanks for joining me back on the charts for this wonderful trade breakdown. This trade was super clean, and it just adds to the previous trade breakdown video of using the lower time frames as extra confirmation. So obviously when we're looking at AU here, guys, you can see that we did have a nice run overnight, taking out sell side liquidity right here, and we took out sell side liquidity over here. Now, this was enough to spark a retracement in the opposing direction to take out counterparty liquidity. Like I've talked about before, we're going to go for one and then we're going to go for the other, right? And that's exactly what happened here. This trade was beautiful in the sense that I thought AU was going to come down into these levels here. This is a 4-hour order block. So for anyone who's looking at maybe longs this week on AU, this is a very, very key area to look out for. So that's going to be my area of interest. But all I was doing here was anticipating a retracement into this kind of breaker block. If you want to know more about breaker blocks, ICT has a bunch of videos on them. It's essentially just the last area of structure, right? So for those people who trade support resistance, this is the last kind of structure level here that we broke below. And you can see this is a very, very key area. So price was just coming back up, retracing into these levels. And you can see we also had an imbalance in price here. You're probably saying, okay, what does that have to do with your bias? And how did that influence your trade setup? Well, that's because I'm expecting prices to come down even more, right? I'm anticipating this imbalance to get filled. I've talked about imbalances before, and we are now in an area of resistance, or we're in that ICT breaker block that I was talking about, right? So this was enough confirmation for me just off of the 1-hour time frame to then jump to the lower time frames and look for similar criteria to be met, but just looking for the lower time frame breaks of structure. So when I jump down to the 15-minute time frame here, you guys can easily see the difference in momentum, right? And I've talked about it before in previous videos. Look at the difference in how we're coming down versus how we are coming up, right? And the market likes to give us tips. The market is literally essentially tipping its hat to us, showing us that, okay, buys are very, very weak right now. And you can see that all this is doing right now is building liquidity below these lows to take us down into these levels, right? And that's all I wanted to do, and that's exactly what ended up happening. But right here off the bat, this was an area of interest for me when I got on, just due to the fact that it was the 15-minute order block here that caused the move down, right? So it caused this break of structure, and this was a very, very significant level because this level here is an area that went and broke all this structure, right? So then we came down and broke it very, very nicely. And this was the area that has not been mitigated yet, and the area that was responsible for the break. So this is the area I was interested in. Leave a like for me saying area one more time, okay? Area. There you go. Drop a like. And now that we're in this level, I jumped down to the lower time frame, and I wanted to see some structure break, right? We had PPI or PMI. I can't remember what one, guys. I'm sorry. But we had an inflation-related news event on Friday that I don't trade because it is anything inflation related right now. CPI, PPI, PMI. Is PPI even a thing? I can't even remember off the top of my head, guys. I need more of this morning. But anyways, I won't trade big news events like this just due to the fact that it can be extremely volatile. And if you are wrong, you are going to get slipped heavy, right? So I just wanted to see how this area was going to hold come news time, right? And we can see when I press play, we come into the area and then news sells us off, right? So we've had a sell-off here. If you were someone who wanted to trade the 15-minute order block, you easily could have had your entry above this 15-minute order block, and it would have been running a nice 1-to-3 for you. Who's complaining about a 1-to-3? Nobody, right? So when I see this happening, all I see is, okay, we got that momentum to the downside, had a break below significant lows here, right? We broke this low, and then we went and broke this low as well, which was the low that caused an imbalance. This was also an area that caused a break of structure above this supply zone, this order block here. So to me, this was a very, very key area to break, and we broke it strong, right? We broke below. Now you may be saying, yeah, but you took out a lot of the trend line. That's okay because I anticipated the market to come down to these lows here. That was kind of my, that was my bias. I thought we were going to take the London low. Now, after this happened, yes, you could have a limit on this order block here because this is the one that was responsible for the break of structure. We've taken out buy side liquidity, right? That criteria right there is a great order block, an order block that sweeps liquidity to the left before causing a big move to the downside, right? And that's exactly what happened. You can also see that we are above New York session open as well, which is great. And then all I'm looking for, guys, this is what I wanted to see up into this area. I wanted to see this order block hold. I wanted to see a rejection out of there to then take price back down into this week low here. That's what I wanted to see. I wasn't too eager to set a limit rate on this because lately I've been really enjoying confirmation entries. I just feel like you have more control out of an order block. So one more time, what I wanted to see was just signs that this order block was going to hold, right? So whether that be a confirmation candle, like a rejection candle or a doji out of this area, you can use that as well if you're someone who likes to market execute, or just a lower time frame break of structure or shift in momentum, right? So when I start to hit play here, you can see we pop right into this order block very nicely here, right? Now, this is when I like to jump to the lower time frames just to see how the market is responding, how we are coming out of the area of interest, to influence if I want to enter the trade or not, right? So again, jumping down to the lower time frame here, we are now we're above the New York session open, which is great. We have fully mitigated this 15-minute order block. So now we've had a 15-minute break of structure. Now we've had a 5-minute break of structure. And now we're left with this area of interest over here. So for me, all I'm waiting for here is momentum to clearly show that it's shifting to the favored side, right? So now I'm just going to break this down here. Boom, you can see we start to create bearish order flow, right? Because we have the demand pop up. We then have a break of structure here. And when I look on the 2-minute time frame, guys, look at that rejection candle out of the point of interest, right? Beautiful rejection candle out of there on the 2-minute and out of the 3-minute time frame, right? That to me was enough. Now, in this moment, I'm not going to enter right off the order block. I want to see some form of liquidity created. Then I'm going to look to put my entry above it, right? So what I want to see is some sort of liquidity, so some sort of high formed here to trick some early people in. And then I want to put my entry above that high to then take the market down lower. That was my analysis. That's what I was waiting for. And you can see with the confirmation entries like this, it's very relaxed because it's just one step after the other. You're not rushing to put a limit on because you're getting the most out of it. You're getting the most confirmation. And that's what I've been liking a lot here, right? I'm not expecting this order block over here to hold or anything like that, just due to the rejection candle out of here. And at this point, I'm just going with structure, right? I'm anticipating on the higher time frame that we are going to come lower. So none of these order blocks here are scaring me or anything like that. I just think they're going to be used as liquidity. I think this area here is going to trick people into longs, right? Which is only building what? Liquidity below this low. And then this area over here is another area where I could see people trying to get in longs, just due to we've had a break structure here, something you could say. But again, the higher time frame for me was supporting this move to the downside, right? So we got all these lows here. Like I said, I'm waiting for liquidity to be built. And you can see right here, we start to have that, right? We have the high right here that's created. So now that's my area of interest to get swept. And I'm setting my limit just above this high. 0.67017 was my entry. So I had my stop loss just above this high, right? Let's say 0.78. I think it was 78 or 79. Yes, you could have had your stop loss below this or above this high here, but I just wanted to cover this order block one more time. So let's just say 0.78 area. And then I'm targeting this area all the way down here, right? So I'm targeting this week low. Now, this was my original target, but due to the time of day, due to the fact we were coming into 11 o'clock on a Friday, I changed my target just to this order block over here because I know there was a chance that we could come into this area and then potentially see bullish order flow out of here, or we were going to just range, right? Due to the fact that we've had the news move and then it's later on a Friday, right? We are aware that the markets start to consolidate, low volume, especially as we get on later on a Friday. Just due to London closing and most of the volatility is done for the day. So yeah, this was a beautiful trade. It's above New York session open here. Stop loss is above the high here. We have all this liquidity over here, and you can see that once we get tagged in, it was an absolute snipe all the way down to this level. for a max of 1 to 3.5, a little bit over there. This was a great position. I'm very, very happy with it. I broke it down on Instagram as well for those who aren't following the RM Trading Instagram. And who's complaining about a 1 to 3, 1 to 3.5? I am. I'm not complaining about that at all whatsoever with all this confirmation. And the cool thing is, guys, you can see that if I did target lower on this, you can see what happens. The demand zone was respected just as drawn out, and it ended up coming all the way back up here, guys. Slowly. But who would want to be in this, right? Think of all the profit that I'd be giving if I had it here. Let's just break this down for a second. 0.7 pips if I was targeting this low. Would that be worth it coming? So would 0.7 pips be worth it coming all the way back 21 pips? Would it be worth it? No. To me, no. Some people may say that you want to hold it all the way to your TP, but when I'm this close and there's a demand zone there, I'm happy to close it. It is what it is, especially knowing what time of day it is and that it's getting later into the session. And if I completely take this off here, let's just see what ended up happening. It came all the way back up, almost taking me out for break even, and then it came all the way back down. Just not something you want to be involved in. But yeah, guys, that was the trade breakdown. And what I'm going to be doing is a series with this. So I'll be doing a breakdown of one of my trades per week or every other week, and I will be explaining it, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you got any value from this, please drop a like and subscribe and comment. If you are new, I appreciate it so much. We are about to hit 20,000 subscribers, which is absolutely mental, and I'm just absolutely blown away. And if you want to know more in more depth, how I trade, all that good stuff, we got the RM Trading Mentorship down below. We got a ton of good stuff in there. If you're curious about what's in there, just shoot me a message and I'll get back to you and let you know all the good stuff in there. If not, you can continue to watch these free videos and take as much away from them as you can get. So what do I say at the end of every single video, guys? Let's be 1% better every single day. I appreciate you, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Take care, everyone.